largely.
Yeah, I mean, you can say what people
There's
care
no
about.
information as to what was in these chats. It's just vagaries. So why is this the news? This is not speaking truth to power. This is not holding anyone to account. This is not a mission. This is partisan nonsense.
Timpool debated a left-leaning journalist on Timcast IRL. He made strong points with clear evidence, while she struggled to respond effectively. The discussion became very one-sided. This clip shows how hard it can be to have a real debate across political divides.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
So it's like, what is actually accomplished?
What do you mean? It's exposing something that's happening in the world. Like, we can't live in a place where information is like, you need information to make decisions. We need truth. That's power.
So let me
Truth
ask you.
Truth is how we protect ourselves.
If you got
I don't want to live in la la land.
If you got a leaked message
Yeah.
from this company and like maybe some people who worked with this person, and releasing it would destroy their business, it didn't necessarily show that they were evil, but that what they were doing was probably hurting people. You would release it for sure.
If I had the sourcing, if I had done the reporting, if I had gotten down to the story and had as complete a story as possible, including the fact that this person may be unaware of what they're doing, which I would include in the story, allowing the readers to decide, I would, if I thought it was harming the public, I would release it. Yeah, I would, because I think it's important for people to know. And I do think that, like, we don't live in this world that we live in right now if it wasn't for those people who have risked, they risk their own lives to try to report.
I hope and I pray that journalist exists and they get you.
Why? For what?
Well, you worked for the big corporation that was lying to the American people. You started your own company. You still lie to the American people.
How do I lie to the American people?
Your defense of the corporate news industry.
I'm not defending the corporate industry.
But I'm just making a point.
I'm not, but I haven't done anything.
As largely righteous.
I'm not righteous. I'm doing this. I have a goal.
You think
but what's wrong with having a mission and with having a goal in life? What's wrong with wanting to do the right thing?
You said that. The point is, you think you are morally justified in going after these people, and I'm not saying you aren't.
But going after who?
People that you'd view as having power.
Power is like...
You have power. You have lots of power. You have substantially more power than 99% of the people in this country.
And you know what? If I do something wrong and someone finds out about it and they have correct reporting, fine, I will
What if you report on a manufacturing business because some guy at the top took a kickback of 10 grand and it results in the company going out of business and 100 employees lose their job, and now a middle-class working guy in the middle of the country says, I'm homeless and destitute because of you?
I mean, these are complex questions, but
Indeed it is, which is my point, is when you say that your intention is to strike... Are you just saying that we shouldn't
just not cover powerful people? We should just let everybody run amok?
Certainly not. I'm saying
you want to be Russia? Like, what do you want?
You have a myopic, morally righteous worldview where you think you are true and correct and other people are not.
I don't think I'm perfect. No,
the point I'm making is,
but I have
the appropriate response in the Signalgate story would have been to just for Goldberg to just say,
"Oh my God."
Yeah, right. You can calm down. It would have been for him to just say, "Guys, take me off this chat," instead of destroying the lives over a stupid texting error. Say, "Guys, never let this happen again. It could get people hurt. You shouldn't have put me on it. We'll keep it private." That employee who loses his job because you blow the whistle on one guy at a mid-level who took a kickback would say, "Why didn't you just keep this under wraps? We would have all kept our jobs. Why did you have to destroy our lives because he did something wrong?"
But here's the thing. How do we know that because one guy gets fired that the whole company goes under? How do we know that somebody else doesn't just get promoted and take that job?
It looks like 3 people got fired from the DoD because of the Signalgate reporting.
Yeah, they'll get another job, I'm sure. And
I'm sure they can learn to code. They'll be fine, right?
You said Americans don't care about Signal leak, but apparently 74% of U.S. adults do. And that includes Republicans. That's according to YouGov. And you've also referenced
What was the
polls.
question?
The question was...
Yeah, I tend not to reference single
share
polls.
of Americans who... You did, though. Many times you said Echelon, you said Pew.
Is that 3 polls at once?
You definitely mentioned at least 3 in this
Exactly.
show so far.
I like to use polls that have multivariate results. Different polls.
If I'm not allowed to use polls, but you are, let me know.
I'm allowed to use 3 polls. I'm asking you if you're citing one.
It seems like the core of Tim's argument is that he's using multiple data points to support his position, while he's accusing his guest of relying on a single, selective poll. From a viewer's perspective, this creates a very lopsided debate. The guest appears to be getting increasingly frustrated, not necessarily because she's playing dumb, but because she's struggling to counter his style of argumentation. It feels like their methods of debating, using a breadth of sources versus a single source, are fundamentally clashing. Whether this was a strategic mistake for her or just a tough interview is up for debate. I'm curious to hear what you all think about how this discussion played out.
You also said Rasmussen earlier, and 48% of people.
I didn't say Rasmussen.
You did.
Rasmussen, sorry.
You did say it at Rasmussen, whatever. You said it earlier.
I didn't.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I recall you saying that, but 48%
I didn't because
of people.
we learned recently that's pronounced Rasmussen by the guy from Rasmussen who came here.
And also, I just want to say the definition of classified information includes, quote, information providing indication or advance warning that the U.S. or its allies are preparing an attack.
Does Pete Hegseth have the authority over the DOD's information, whether it's classified or not?
I think Trump is the one who decides, right, about classification. I don't know that
Universally,
answer.
But what about specifically DOD information?
I don't know that answer.
It is Hegseth.
Okay.
So if he says it's not classified, it's not. The ultimate issue that I bring up with all these questions is,
well, he better hope he's right.
the appropriate way that you handle a thing like this is to say, guys, take me off this text chat, and there's no story.
But what if they take you off the text chat and carry on committing a crime, like you said, the National Records Act, violating that? Well,
the Biden administration did that too.
Okay.
So perhaps the response should be, hey guys, the Biden administration and probably Obama and now the Trump administration are all doing this thing.
Yeah.
It seems like
I don't think there was signal during Obama years.
There was.
It was?
Yeah, but I doubt they used it because it was new. I think it was like 2014.
I don't remember.
Actually, I'm pretty sure we used Signal back in 2011.
Really?
Yeah, but I don't think they used it. The point is, the use of this is more an administrative issue between. It's like we're not going to go and arrest Obama, Biden, and Trump because of a National Records Act violation. We're going to say this should not be allowed. Congress needs to quash this immediately. My point is, there is this argument about journalism is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. Mm-hmm. But what we often end up with, especially in this generation, I don't think that that's absolutely what journalism is. That's the famous quote. Okay, some people say that. It's one person said that. I don't know. I know, and journalists and go to J school and they preach it and they love it. So my concern is when you see instances like this, there's appropriate ways to handle things for the betterment of humanity. Yeah. But Goldberg did not do that. But actually, in some ways, I think if he caused division, chaos, and fighting, or he showed the American people how that what a text error happened, how the White House conducts itself, how it's the national security apparatus conducts itself. Errors happen all the time. Trump tweeted "Kafefi." That wasn't a pre-planned information about an attack. Okay. Joe Biden stole classified documents for the purpose of selling a book and making money. Right? So did Trump. Trump didn't do it to make money. Trump had knickknacks from various boxes from his daily briefings. Whatever they wanted to use it for, both.
It's interesting to observe the dynamic in this kind of debate. A common pattern is what's often called whataboutism, where a criticism of one side is met with a deflection to the other side, instead of addressing the original point directly. The frustration seems to come from a sense that the goal for some participants isn't necessarily to find common ground or truth, but to win the argument for their team. This can make the discussion feel less like a good faith exchange and more like a political game, where conceding any point is seen as a loss. While this tactic isn't exclusive to any one group, in this clip, it appears the guest is struggling to counter Tim's arguments without using these deflections, which is making for a very one-sided conversation. It's a fascinating look at the challenges of modern political discourse. So did Pompeo. All these guys take their classified
Only Trump got prosecuted for it.
No, I think they tried to. And I agree with you that the Biden thing was pretty weak, just saying he was an old man. And that was the reason they weren't prosecuting him, was pretty pathetic.
So it is clear that there are appropriate ways to handle things that minimize damage, solve the problem without causing disarray for the United States. What Goldberg and the media apparatus did with Signalgate and what they're continuing to doing now isn't actually solving the problem of Signal being used or of accidentally texting people. It's just it's partisan hackery.
How do we know that that hasn't stopped the use of Signal?
It hasn't stopped the use of Signal. By elected officials. I mean, by appointed officials. According to the four anonymous sources, I'm saying, in their view, it's still happening.
I don't know if they said it was still happening. I thought that they said it was happening concurrently. I haven't read that. I have to read that.
The other issue on top of this is the second Signalgate story, which, again, is largely a liberal Democrat phenomenon because the right doesn't care about it. Largely. Yeah, I mean, you can say what people care about. There's no information as to what was in these chats. It's just vagaries. So why is this the news? This is not speaking truth to power. This is not holding anyone to account. This is not a mission. This is partisan nonsense.
In this segment, Tim Pool lays out his case with a specific set of points and data. His main argument is that the situation is driven by partisan motives. The guest's primary counterargument seems to be a simple rejection of that premise without providing her own supporting evidence or a detailed breakdown of her perspective. This creates a challenging dynamic for a debate, as it's difficult to engage with a position that isn't fully elaborated. It feels like a classic example of two sides talking past each other. One person is presenting a detailed case, while the other disputes the conclusion without addressing the underlying points. This can be a frustrating experience for everyone involved, from the hosts to the guests and the viewers. T makes you wonder about the overall goal of such discussions. Is it to uncover truth and have a real intellectual exchange, or is it simply to defend a pre-existing narrative? I'm curious to hear what you all think about the effectiveness of this conversation in the comments.